who has become a friend of boxing over the last couple of months, and the communications team from the OECS Commission. And by no means least, this third prong of this partnership, the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, Mr. Christopher Jareen and other staff members who would have joined the St. Lucia Boxing Association here this morning. A unique partnership. Everyone has a role to play for the SLTA. It's about utilizing sports to increase visibility on the island's tourism brand and to attract more visitors. 100 plus participants expected for this championship for the OECS Commission. It's about the continued unification of our region, using sport to bring the people of the OECS sub-region closer together. And for the St. Lucia Boxing Association, it's all about creating champions and better citizens both in and out of the ring. So that's the coalition of the willing represented here this morning. We want to encourage our brothers and sisters across the OECS region in the various member states to join in this initiative moving forward, ensure that your flag is represented, ensure that your athletes are also represented. We recognize and we note the challenges with interregional travel. I know the SLTA and other tourism partners have been working to ensure that we can move our athletes and their officials, teams, to competitions like these with a lot of smoother access. The travel within the region continues to be a major challenge for us, and the teams this year are trying to navigate to ensure that they get here on time. But it's an opportunity for us to raise not a red flag, but for us to raise our hand as the host country, St. Lucia, for the second year running, to signal to the member states of the OECS that we want you to raise your hand in 2026. It has to be an OECS approach. It's not going to be an OECS and regional integration if we find St. Lucia hosting it again in 2027. However, I'll say that the St. Lucia Boxing Association is not prepared to allow the dreams of our athletes to die. And whereas we call on the other member states to raise their hand and to signal intention to host, if it doesn't happen, St. Lucia again will continue to fork out these opportunities for our young men and women, because we cannot and we will not allow their dreams to die. With that said, I want to welcome each and every one of you here this morning, and I want to allow the representative of the St. Lucia Boxing Association, the president of the St. Lucia Boxing Association, no stranger to this forum and to the media lenses, Mr. David Shicks, Christopher, to address you.
Good morning to the media family, good morning to the boxing family around the region, good morning to the St. Lucia Tourism Authority for having us here. I just want to adopt the protocol being set out by the MC and the VP of the Boxing Association, Mr. Shannon LeBon. He covered a few areas that is a real concern for sports in the region, and I'll start by capping in or putting the icing on the cake when he said about the region raising their hands. When we take a look what's going on around the region presently right now, the phrase he used, the collision of the willing, they have to be willing to collate with us. We take this word from the director to give us that line, and we really appreciate that line, because you have to collate to make it happen. You have to be willing to make it happen. Yes, you're part of the OECS. Yes, you're a member state, but if you don't raise your hands, you're letting down your country. There's only so much that the OECS Commission can do. And Shannon mentioned the family with the OECS Commission. I think they really bending backwards, not like Wycliffe Jah, back in the days, but they're bending real forward and backward to make sure that sports could be recognized around the OECS. When you take a look at what's going on with cricket, it's a disgrace for the Caribbean. And if the member states of the OECS do not raise their hands, we're going to find ourselves logging just like the West Indies cricket team. Getting bowled out for 27, and we cannot bat a day. So those persons who are online and tune into this telecast, we want to say to the OECS especially, I'll start from my neighbor, St. Vincent, you need to wake up. You need to wake up and look after the youths when it comes to sports in your country. Yes, St. Vincent, Mr. Gonzalez, if you get this serious, David Shakes Christmas speaking to you. Mr. Robertson Henry down there working with the boxing, you all need to wake up down there. When we take a look around, Antigua is trying their best, but from all reports from the boxing family, they are getting a love-hate relationship when it comes to funding. We need to support these young men in that area. When you look across Grenada, they also need some support. They need the support. When you look in the French territory, yes, we have Martinique, we have Guadeloupe that we're building some strong ties with, but they themselves need the support. Sports cannot go leaving up to the associations to run it because most of the associations work on subventions, and the subventions cannot really run a program for the year. We see they investing in different areas, but what about the sports? If you take a look right in at home right now, we saw what's going on. And we're very fortunate in St. Lucia to have persons like the OECS Commission riding with us. We have our new kid on the block, the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, who's there to give us all the support. We have the Olympic Committee, who's there running with us, length and breadth. We have the National Lotteries and the Ministry of Youth and Sports who's supporting us. But only St. Lucia is getting the support. What happened to the rest of the countries? Dominica. We're not hearing anything from Dominica. They're dormant. I don't know if D's for Dominica and D's for dormant, so they're keeping in sync with that alphabetical letter D. But they need to wake up. And you know, as a president of the region, they always say I speak out because I don't mix words when I speak as a president of the region. I'm fiery when I come to the mic. I say it like it is. I am powdering up nobody and making nobody look nice. I say it like it is because what we're doing in St. Lucia is voluntary. And BNB could attract partners like the OECS Commission. You got to attract partners like the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, the St. Lucia Olympic Committee, National Lottery, the Ministry of Sports. What's wrong with the other countries around the region? Are we talking about integration, regional integration? They should abandon that regional integration because they're not integrating anything. And we're very, 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 very dissatisfied with the vibes we're getting coming out of the region. And again, look at the West Indies cricket. And if we don't take a quicker look, all our youths in the region are going to leave the sports and go into crime. Because when you cannot send out your energy out in sports, you're going to put it in the wrong area. And that's what we're trying to do. Hands in gloves, not on guns. We tried that initiative. They never pick it up and run with it. Hands in gloves, not on guns. They never run with it. We sell it around the region, they never run with it. And it's only for fancy talk when somebody win a medal, then they're coming out, oh, we this, we that. You have to put your money and your mouth where it's supposed to be. So there's just some of the fiery works I want to send out in my preamble. Now I'll go into the positive. First of all, let me thank everybody for being here. I really appreciate seeing so many faces in the place as we go into the second year of getting the sport of OECS boxing in the region together. We had a soporific year last year, and we're looking forward again this year to even make it better. If you notice, we're going into the touristic area of the pavilion with the compliments and the help from the tourism authority. We're bringing some more touristic flavor into the boxing this year. We know that areas for big events like the Jazz and Sports Award and fancy events. Now boxing getting a chance to go into the pavilion. So we're gonna try to fix that place, refit it nice, so we can have a real nice event. And again, it's closer for everybody. People complain about transportation to get all to the back of Beausejour. It's easy now to get on the strip and just walk right down to the Spinnakers. You're right there. You have the vibes. We could get all the hotels. And we want to call on Jermaine and Mr. Chris to spread this word through the hotel circuit. Get the hotel personnel to sell this to we give you the flyers, sell it to the guests so they can come across to the pavilion and enjoy some good boxing. It's right in the area. They don't have to go far. They can walk around from the Bay Gardens. They can walk around from the various close hotels. They can come. It's very affordable. They can come and see some of the good boxing there. When we look at the lineup for this year, we have some very good boxers going to be coming. Most of the boxers preparing for Youth Olympics. We want to thank some of the countries who is not the OECS, but as we make it the OECS Invitational, to get the matchup for the boxers, we have to go outside of the OECS because, as I mentioned a while ago, we're not getting the kind of traction we're supposed to get from the OECS to get it going. We see Guyana going to be coming with some top boxers. Trinidad going to be coming with some top boxers. We're speaking to some boxers in Canada. We should get some confirmation on them. A few of them that were within Guadeloupe a couple of weeks ago going to be coming over here. And I think we in ourselves with our program is over close to 200 boxers right now. And I think something special is happening in St. Lucia where everybody's gravitating to boxing. In Vieux Fort, the gym is too small right now in Vieux Fort. And Vieux Fort starts after Castries. I want to thank the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Minister for bringing in that Cuban coach and basing him down in the South. Right now, the South have some of the best boxers, the best elite boxers in the country. We have a guy called John Didier. He's 4-0. We preparing him to go to the Olympics. We preparing him to go to the higher level because our aim right now is to go out internationally with our boxers so we could get them boxing against quality opponents instead of just staying in the region and waiting on Caribbean boxers. We have to go out now. As I mentioned, the gym is too small right now in Vieux Fort. All the elite boxers is in Vieux Fort. The school program is buzzing in Castries. We have over 150 young boxers coming from the various schools from the St. Joseph Convent. We have a fleet of girls from the St. Joseph Convent. I think this is the largest amount of female boxers we ever see. We have a lot of boxers coming out of the Hess school, the college, and it's just growing leaps and bounds. We can try to showcase some of these boxers at this event. This event would not only be the OECS, but we're going to showcase some of the female boxers that we have on show. We're going to showcase some of the young boxers on show. We'll do demonstration with them so people can see what's going on with our program, where the money is spent. So it's going to be a showcase of combat fistic fury come the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So it's growing large, and we really have to keep our boxers in the program. We have to find avenues and areas to keep these boxers going, or we're going to lose them in the wrong direction. So our program is going to be very proud of that. Again, the real driving force behind this event, the 2nd annual OECS boxing tournament, we have the OECS commissioners driving this. We really want to say our heartful thanks for you, lovely Ms. Sajid Singh, and the whole family of the OECS Commission, the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, who come on board and giving us some good vibes, and even preparing us for even bigger things down the road. You may see international bouts coming here sooner or later. We have the Olympic Committee who's supporting us every year because we're a member of the Olympic Committee and they would support our program. We have the National Lottery in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, who's there with us 24/7 to make sure the program going, because the school program belongs to the National the Ministry of Sports, and they filter this where it is our feeder belt from the youth program, the school program, and then they graduate into the national and then graduate into elite and get to the next level. So our feeding base is really the school programs from all the various schools. We have the French Embassy, they have a small grant from the French Embassy. I want to thank Mr. Sajid Singh and the Oecs Commission to leading us in that direction. The Bible says, lead us not into temptation, but this was a real lead us the right way. So we got there and they were so loving. I want to shout out Jamie and the staff of the French Embassy. They sat down with us and go through it piece by piece by piece to make sure we get a small grant of €5,000 to put into this program. And I want you all to give them a round of applause for coming on board and supporting us. Yeah. And then we have, we're getting some logistic support from Black Heart, so we're making sure it happen. So on that note, I really want to say thanks everybody who played a part, and we're going to make sure that this year's tournament is even better than last year. Thank you very much, Shannon.
Thank you. Lots of positive to celebrate as we move towards the start of bell time on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August at the pavilion in Rodney Bay. Lots of positives. The contribution and effort of the Oecs Commission, we can't not highlight. The team has already held our hands throughout from the start of this relationship last year to ensure that we can get sports back in the sub-region where it ought to be. I'm sure we all remember those good old days. At this time, I want to invite to the podium to deliver her official remarks Mrs. Lisa Sagerson-Terrence. She is the Senior Technical Officer in the Education Development Management Unit at the Oecs Commission. A warm welcome to Mrs. Sagerson-Terrence.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and greetings from the Oecs Commission. I can tell you it is really a proud moment for us for the second time to partner with the St. Lucia Boxing Association on this championship. What this is really a mandate from our member states to build on the success of our very first Council of Ministers of Youth and Sports held sometime last year, where our ministers, our countries actually called for the revival of the Oecs Sports Championship to really include our traditional emerging sports, really as a vehicle to strengthen youth development, community identity, and regional pride. And it is really us acting on that call from that very first Council of Ministers, Youth and Sports. And we are quite pleased that the St. Lucia Boxing Association, they had the momentum and the drive and the leadership to really act on that call. And again, it is really a privilege for us to support them at the Oecs Commission, because again, this is truly an alignment with our strategic priorities as a commission to advance equity and inclusion, to strengthen regional integration, and to promote social resilience. Supporting our youth is part of our core mandate, and it is even more important for us right now to do so as we try to steer them away from what we call the unfavorable behaviors and activities and so forth. It is even more so important for us. I just want to say that this is actually more than boxing. It's more than a sporting event for us. We see this as really a bold statement of regional ambition and collective purpose. You heard a reference to a coalition and so forth, but yes, it is truly a collective purpose. And again, the commitment of the Oecs, as I said, to put youth at the center of regional development, not only as athletes, but as our future leaders, as our change makers, and as our community builders. So through this championship, we are showcasing what it means to really invest in the social capital of our region by creating what we see as a safe, structured spaces where our young people can really thrive. So I want to commend Mr. Christopher and his team, Shannon, and the entire committee at the association for your passion, for your drive, for responding to that call for regional championship. It is our commitment as an OECS, as we build on other councils of ministers of youth and sports, to encourage that kind of participation. You have called for St. Lucia to pass on the baton, I would say, to the other member states. And we will be making that encouragement as we meet our ministers of youth and sports in follow-up meetings. So kudos and commendation to you. And the OECS continues to commit itself to supporting youth in the region. I also want to say a big thank you to our French embassy, because they came on board. Their priorities definitely align with ours to advance equity, to support the integration of all genders into sports. I'm happy you reference the St. Joseph's Convent coming on board. Okay, so for us, it is everybody being part of even what seemed to have been perhaps a male-dominated sport. We're happy to see all our young people coming on board. So I can definitely say we will continue to support regional sports because we see the value in many, many ways. High commendations to all of you, and thank you again.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Sargerson Terrence, for those remarks. And again, we thank your team, Cupid, Lovely, Malaika, and everyone who's represented us. Sometimes I forget the names, but we recognize and appreciate every one of you at the OECS Commission, and of course, the Office of your Director General, Dr. Dudicus Jules, for his leadership throughout this process. The partnership with the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports is another unique element of this coalition, the coalition of the willing. We place on record our thanks and gratitude to the Honorable Kenson Kazemi, who continues to support the National Boxing Program, Dr. Urilas Jules, the Permanent Secretary, and Mr. Rohan Lubo, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Mr. Clivers Jules, the Director of Sports as well, and the entire team at the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. They get it. The Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, like the OECS Commission, they really get it. And it is shown every time in the actions, in the investments that they make throughout the communities here on St. Lucia and throughout the various national federation programs. So at this time, I want to allow the ministry to have its say. Mr. Dane McGlaw is the sports officer assigned to boxing, and he will represent the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports here this morning, joining us via the virtual feed. Dane, over to you.
Yeah. My name is Dane McGraw. I'm representing the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Dane, if you can hear me, your microphone appears to be mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be on now. Dane, can you proceed?
Yeah. My name is Dane McGraw, and I am representing the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We support the Boxing Association fully in the hosting of the OECS Boxing Tournaments in Asia. Hello? Yeah. My name is Dan McGraw. I'm representing the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We support the Boxing Association fully in the hosting of the Oecs boxing tournament held in St. Yeah. You hear me? Are you hear me? Yeah. All right. My name is Dan McGraw. I am representing the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We support the Boxing Association fully in the hosting of the OCS boxing tournament held in Central. Yeah, 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 you think you go ahead?
In McGlaw would have joined us virtually and apologize to you who are in attendance here today
Yeah.
for the audio connection. However, I'm told that Dean's full presentation on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports was delivered and broadcast via the live stream. So we want to thank them
Yeah,
so very much. Again, the entire Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, critical partner in this venture here, which will unfold August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the Pavilion in Rodney Bay. It is their home, and we're very pleased that they would have welcomed us into their home this morning for the hosting of this press conference. Another important partner in the the coalition of the willing here in 2025 is the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. And I'm tempted to tell you some of the things that we will do with this partnership, a unique partnership. It will see us unfold in some exciting elements as part of this championship at the pavilion in Rodney Bay, all in our effort to continue to amplify the lens of the region and the international lenses on the brand of St. Lucia. So we're going to be doing some exciting stuff with the St. Lucia Tourism Authority through this partnership, August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the pavilion in Rodney Bay. At this time, a warm welcome to the SLTA's Marketing Manager for the Caribbean Region, Events and Sports, Mr. Christopher Gustav.
Good morning, everyone. Let me adopt the protocol already established. On behalf of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, I'm honored to be here this morning for the official launch of the 2025 OECS Invitational Boxing Championship. We are proud to once again partner with the St. Lucia Boxing Association under the great leadership of Mr. David Shakes Christopher to welcome over 175 athletes and officials from across the OECS, the Caribbean, and the wider world. This is more than a boxing tournament. It's a celebration of regional strength, talent, and unity. And this year's theme, Stronger Together, could not be more fitting. At the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, we've launched the Play St. Lucia brand to highlight our island as not just a world-class leisure destination, but as a growing hub for sports tourism. From rugby to swimming, football to motorsports, we are building a calendar that showcases St. Lucia as the natural arena for athletic excellence and unforgettable destination experiences. Boxing holds a unique space in this vision. It's raw, it's disciplined, and it's deeply rooted in the communities that produce our finest fighters. This tournament brings together youth, junior, and elite boxers, offering them a critical platform to sharpen their skills and build confidence as they prepare for even greater opportunities. But beyond this ring, the event has real impact. It drives visitation, fills hotel rooms, creates content, promotes regional integration, and inspires a new generations of athletes. It supports our local economy while strengthening the bonds across our OECS family. To our regional athletes, welcome in advance. You're not just visiting St. Lucia, you're helping us build something powerful. To the SLBA, we continue to commend you on your commitment to keeping this tournament alive and growing. To our partners in government, sports, and tourism, let's continue working together to make St. Lucia the home of unforgettable sporting moments. Together, with passion and purpose, we are stronger together. I thank you.
Stronger Together, the 2025 theme for the championships, which will unfold again at the pavilion on Rodney Bay. I want to thank Mr. Gustav, I want to thank Ms. Jareen Georges and the entire team, Mr. Louis Lewis, and of course, our friend of boxing for so many years, Comrade Dexter Purcell, and the entire team at the SLTA. Thank you so very much. Two things which resonated throughout Mr. Gustav's presentation, Mrs. Sarkising's presentation. You both said that this is more than a boxing event. You said, quote, it's a symbol of OECS ambition. I think you will all agree that we are all committed and would like to see that ambition move to greater action throughout the sub-region. A gentleman who has been leading that charge for so many years, still at the table, and we must give the opportunity to grace us with his words of wisdom. Dr. Joseph Reds Pereira, founding president of the St. Lucia Boxing Association, will now address us.
Good morning, all, and hello to our regional brothers and sisters. As the past president of the St. Lucia Boxing Association, I'm happy to be here this morning, invited, and I am very, very pleased that St. Lucia has kept the Oecs Boxing Championships alive. But St. Lucia, as David Christopher referred to, cannot continue to do this. We really need the other Oecs countries to participate. Maybe in 2026, we might like to see Grenada or Guadeloupe or Martinique, one of the Oecs countries taking on the challenge of hosting. When David Christopher told me that there will be about 10 countries, 12 countries coming, I was very, very happy, because the activity of the St. Lucia Boxing Association has really kept the sport alive in the Eastern Caribbean. But the biggest plus, he went on to tell me, that they got the pavilion. Over the years, boxing has tried to use the VG complex, and we appreciate the support we have gotten, and I say the royal we, from just about everybody to make that happen. But the rain is something that you cannot really cater for. The years ago, there used to be a dry season and a wet season. The seasons are changing because of global warming, etc. We have tried the auditorium at Beauchamp, and despite the major effort to promote, to press releases, talk shows, etc., media support, we just have not been able to get the population motivated to go up to the indoor center. So I was delighted that the pavilion is now available, because it gives the Boxing Association a very quality venue. And let me just put my hands together for the news that the venue will be the pavilion. It brings a challenge to the Boxing Association, because it's a new venue, and there will be a site inspection, and I'm sure that it's going to be well appreciated by the general public, because it will be rain-free. The boxers will have probably the best conditions, the spectators will have the best conditions, and the officials. But the pavilion is going to provide a challenge to the Boxing Association. It's a small association, and the support for the association is vital. I want to make a very special appeal to the Tourism Authority, special appeal to the Oecs organization in the morning, that there is a need for support for the Oecs to stage it at the pavilion. There is a plan to have a VIP section. There's a plan to have a ringside section. The general public will be, of course, accommodated. But we are looking basically at a challenge where we need maybe about 700 chairs, or maybe beyond that. Because if you look at the venue, is central. It's not very far, as David has already talked about. And we can see the numbers at VG doubling at the pavilion. I think basically we really need to ask the Tourism Authority, to ask the OECS Secretariat to provide hands on deck to help the St. Lucia Amateur Boxing Association to look after the protocols, the prize giving, to ensure that there's welcome for all our guests, etc. It cannot just be done by the executive of the boxing associations. We are too small an organization. So I really want to appeal to the Secretariat in the morning. I want to appeal to maybe the events company and the Tourism Authority to provide some support in that area. The technical side will be looked after well by the executive. Referees and judges are coming in, boxers are coming in. I think there are 10 countries down to come. But the actual staging of the event, it's a quality venue. Quality venue. It's something that boxing needs for a very long time. And we really hope it will be a total success in terms of the numbers of people who may turn up to watch the OECS Open Championships. And I just want to focus on appealing to the OECS Authority, to the Tourism Authority, to provide some personnel to help run the show very, very smoothly and very nicely. Let's have a great turnout in the ring, but let's have great smooth running of the expected attendance. I don't believe that we quite really understand with the promotion that is about to start by the Boxing Association that our numbers might be greater than we expected. And again, I'd just like to say that's my focus. I wish the association every success. I congratulate them for, again, keeping boxing alive in the OECS. Sport could be the flagship of the OECS, but let's make sure that we are not short of hands on deck. So that's my appeal, and I do hope that the association gets the necessary support with personnel who can help us to give it some style and some real qualities, not just the aggressive boxing, but we need to make sure that everybody is comfortable, everybody is welcome and well looked after. Thank you very much.
Give him a round of applause again, Dr. Joseph Reds Pereira, for those remarks. So August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, it's going to be a fusion of best of the best sporting talent and St. Lucian culture. So you can expect not just boxing, you can expect some bodybuilding, you can expect some mixed martial arts as well, St. Lucian cuisine, and the winners of our 2025 Carnival season, the biggest of the biggest winners, will be at the pavilion in Rodney Bay, that fusion of sport and culture at the pavilion in Rodney Bay. Allow us to thank His Excellency Mr. Francis Etienne, the French Ambassador in St. Lucia, Justin, Ms. Hilda Henry, and the staff at the French Embassy for the support through the Small Grants Project. Mr. Alfred Emmanuel and the board of the St. Lucia Olympic Committee, General Secretary Teddy Matthews, Dr. Didicus Jules, Mr. Sargerson Terrence, and again the entire team at the OECS Commission. We must say a very special thank you to Mr. Oecs and the board of the National Lottery Authority, very important partner here, and to you members of the media who have joined us earlier and those who are still joining us now in location and virtually. We want to thank you so very, very much. August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we'll see you at the pavilion in Rodney Bay.